Hello, my name is Bohdan Klufas, and I am grateful to the people at Caregiving Matters for the opportunity to share some information and thoughts on some of the challenges surrounding home safety as you care for your loved ones. Home is essentially where you have chosen to be. In many situations, home is also where circumstances surrounding your health and well-being have influenced where you currently reside or care for someone. It is our primary goal to be able to assist you in making very important decisions as it relates to making the home safe and comfortable while maintaining dignity, recognizing that declining health is a reality. Making key initial steps in home safety is a very real and important factor in the care of a family member. In a survey of 1,500 homeowners, age 60 plus, 7 out of 10 said that staying in their home is critical to their quality of life. Add to that fact that family caregivers are not able to be available all the days of the week. It is essential that the home is suitable for any potential scenario. I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of live examples of home safety and how arrangements were made to assist seniors with different limitations in their mobility to be able to live in their homes safely. I will talk a little bit about tax credits and tax advantages and renovation credits that are available to homeowners to renovate their homes. I'll talk a little bit about government funding that's available for actual use of mobility equipment. I'd like to go through an example of a typical scenario, as there are many people like myself who are in the sandwich generation where we're looking after our children, but we're also looking after our parents. I had a scenario, a personal scenario, where my mother-in-law, 93 years old, was not able to live in her home, but again, going back to my original statistic, she wanted to be at home and not in an assisted living facility. So what we did was, with the assistance of the CCAC, and the reason I'm mentioning them is because they were able to do an assessment of the home along with myself. That is what we do. But an occupational therapist would have to come in assistance to assist in that regard in being able to assess a home for their safety. So the first issue was to try to get my mother up the front stairs to her home. Then what became obvious was it was safer for her, with the use of a rollator, to go around to the back of her home, and the entrance, there was only 3 steps to get right into her kitchen. So what you have to do is we have to really assess every step of the way as soon as you get into your driveway, after you get out of a cab, or after you get off of Wheel-Trans, or a family or friend is dropping you off in your parents' driveway. So we're getting down to some really short strokes here, but accessibility in terms of getting into the home is the first step. I'll talk a little bit about the main area where our loved ones love to live and spend their time, the kitchen. It's very important, first of all, I mentioned that the rollator. It's very important to use the rollator that is available to take you in and out and guide yourself along the home. As far as the kitchen goes, you typically have a lot of floor mats in the area in the kitchen. Those floor mats must be removed. If you're not using a rollator or you're walking throughout the kitchen, it's very cumbersome to be able to, it's cumbersome to step over it, and you might trip over those things. One device or apparatus that is also available in the kitchen is what's called a reacher. They come in various lengths. They can come in 12-inch, 16, 24, and that helps you literally reach up into the cupboards and grab anything that you may need. In addition to that, you should probably have around the kitchen, a lot of people will guide themselves along in terms of mobility. They might grab along and hang on to kitchen counters. You might strategically like to place grab bars throughout the kitchen. And then as you move along, then you have to talk about your living area. Many of the older homes have carpeting available, and that is actually a very comfortable way to be able to walk around your home. The difference being is there's usually a little bit of a step from your kitchen into the living area, so you have to be mindful. It's not a bad idea to have a mat for the transition area into some of the rooms in the house. Then as you continue to work in your living area, depending on where you're seating, the harder the seat, the better it may be for you. So I'm talking about a specific scenario in my mind as we were going through my mother's home to make her the most comfortable. So I'm just walking through. So we decided to get her a chairlift that propels her up so that she wouldn't have to go the seating motion. It would be a lot easier for her to get up and down from the chair. And that way she could watch her television, the radio was accessible, and what we also decided to do was we put a pole, the common name is a super pole, right beside it so she could grab onto it and move around. These are all small critical steps that can be made along with the occupational therapist. Then we move on to the living area, the bedroom area. We also had installed a pole right next to the bed along with a bed rail for easy transition in and out of bed. Again, all the mats and rugs were removed from the room so that my mother-in-law had a careful ability to step back and forth from the room and transitioning into the bathroom. Very important area, and the most important area is the bathroom area. Unfortunately, people think that a towel rack is a grab bar. And I say that in jest, but truly, the bathroom area is a very critical place and a lot of accidents happen. We're trying to do all these things so that people do not fall. Falling is just the beginning of some of ongoing medical challenges after a fall. We're trying to prevent a fall. This is really what it is all about. The shower is a very important area. There are many assistive daily devices that are available, shower chairs with back benches, with removable shower heads. There's also, not everybody is a fan of it, but there are suction grab bars that are available that you can put inside the showers to help you get up and down, in addition to grab bars. Some people don't like to manipulate their ceramic tiles on their walls and put holes in them, but there are very quality approved suction grab bars that can also be used for that matter. And then, we've touched on some of the main areas. We've touched on getting into the home. In addition to that, we've talked about the kitchen areas, the living areas, the bedroom, and the bathroom areas. One thing in terms of getting out of the home, there's also very many accessibility devices that are available in terms of ramps that are portable. Some municipalities and some townships will have guidelines as to what you can put in as a ramp, but there are ways that you can accommodate ramps in a very cost-effective manner. We can talk about some reference information a little bit later on. I'm going to talk a little bit about government funding that's available for mobility devices. The Ministry of Health and Long-Term Care has a program called the Assistive Device Program, where funding is available for individuals to access and be able to use and secure equipment, and the government will fund 75% of the cost of that particular item. There are several steps that you have to take. You have to work with an ADP approved vendor to be able to secure this equipment, but the first most important step is to be able to be assessed by an occupational or physical therapist who is authorized under the Assistive Device Program. An assessment is done on the particular client, your loved one, and that occupational or physical therapist then signs an ADP application to allow you to submit. So you provide a 25% down payment, and then down the road the government will will give you the other 75% for that particular device. And the ADP program is regardless of your income status. It's available to everybody in the province, but again, must be approved. The application must be approved, but it has to be submitted and signed off by an occupational or physical therapist. A common misconception is a doctor's note will provide you with the ability to submit the application. That is not the case. The only people authorized to submit their signature to support an application for a mobility device is an occupational or physical therapist. Now, if you have private insurance coverage, that 25% could be covered by an insurance company with a signed doctor's note. Only then is a doctor's note required for the application. There are other forms of funding sources that are available outside of the ADP program. Veterans Affairs provides funding for individuals to gain some equipment, which would include power chairs, ramps, power scooters, wheeled walkers, and those types of things. So there's a limited scope, but again, I'll give you the reference numbers to what you can decide to get later on. I quickly wanted to a little bit talk about home renovation tax credits. The federal government allows you to spend up to $10,000 on renovating your home for it to be accessible, and that is that you receive that as a tax credit to a maximum of $10,000. And you can spend those items to renovate the home. That could be a ramp. Some people have used it to put in stair lifts to get into their homes, especially, for instance, my mother-in-law, she had a single level home, but if you have your bedrooms on the second floor, then you can apply for funding that counts towards a renovation tax credit, the spending that is. So you spend $10,000 and you can receive a tax credit for that amount back. I'd be more than happy to work with you on a consultative basis. We are not a bricks and mortar store. We recognize that it's difficult for some people to be able to go to a store. So as a consultant, we're able to go into the comfort of your own home and do a complimentary home assessment, home safety evaluation, and along with an occupational therapist, assess what your needs may be for either a mobility device or look around your home and see how it could be most accessible to you to continue to live your life with dignity and independence. Again, www.pyramidmobility.ca and phone number 647-762-3877. I thank you very much for the time taken to listen to what I have to say. There's many more things that can be discussed, but please, no obligation. Please call us at the number 647-762-3877. This is a vital part of taking care of your loved one, and home safety is a key component of that. Thank you.